the women's doubles. This is the men's doubles, and a mouth-watering clash later on when the last matchup is Jung and Lee against Kai and Fu. But before that, who will they meet? Seong Yoo or Ahsan and Septano? Because that's the men's doubles match on right now. The Korean pair, the number 5 seeds of Hyun and Yeon Seong, up against the Indonesian duo Mohammad Ahsan and Bona Septano, who are 7th seeded here for this week's World Championships. Well, we have the prospect, I suppose, the possibility, Morton, of an all-Korean final.
Yes, you're so right. That's definitely possible.
A match we are looking forward, aren't we, to that final match?
In all fairness, I hope not. You know, it's always nice to have different nations playing. You know, when Malaysia's playing Malaysia, China playing China, and all that. You know, we want the excitement. So even though Korea's got 2 very, very good pairs, I hope we're not seeing both of them in the final. In terms of the game, it's important for the game.
Well, here's Seong Yoo, who are the number 5 seeds. 2 years together as a partnership. They first came together at the Asian Badminton Championships, reached the final, which was a pretty decent start. Quarter-final defeat last year at the World Championships to Boa Mogensen, and here you can see they have won this year the Swiss Open Grand Prix Gold. They've reached some quarter-finals, lost surprisingly fairly recently in the opening round of the Singapore Open, but generally they get to the quarter-finals and beyond. And here's how they've got here. Taken to 3 sets by Hancock and Ellis. Of course, Hancock still involved in the mixed doubles. Took on their compatriots Cho and Kwon. 32 minutes it took, and I have to say they were very impressive yesterday, beating Q and Tan of Malaysia, the number 4 seeds.
Yeah, they played really well. Fantastic match. They were in total control.
5th time in a row they've beaten them as well.
Yeah, maybe, you know, they're just loving it to play them. There's certain styles obviously suiting you and others not.
Well, this isn't Indonesia's number 1's men doubles pair. Of course, that's Marcus and Hendra. Marcus Kido contracting typhoid, so not here this week. His brother is here, though. The one on the right, Bona Septano. They've been together as a pair for 3 years. They had to save a match point yesterday against Boa Mogensen. We'll look at those games in a moment, but you'd have to say the Korean pair favourites here, or not, Paul?
Not really.
No?
I think it's a very 50-50. To me, it's a very 50-50. Obviously, you know, you can have good and bad days, and that can be the deciding factor. But
they beat Chao and Guo, who have beaten them many times this season already. They beat Boa Mogensen. They'd never beaten them before.
Yeah.
They saved a match point as well, didn't they, yesterday?
They did. It was a very close match, and obviously very disappointing for the Danes. They had high hopes in this tournament.
Yeah, the number 2 seeds out. Umpire is from Canada. It's Eric Desroches. And the service judge is Hu Long Hu. So they'll be hoping for a quiet game ahead. Get ready for this men's doubles. Well, if it was to be an all-Korean final, it would guarantee, of course, Korea's first gold at the World Championship since 2003. Seong Yoo had a terrific record over yesterday's opponents, Ku and Tan. We're saying it's 5 wins out of 5. They have a 100% record against this Indonesian duo as well. 2 wins out of 2, most recently in March. But then again, Ahsan and Septano hadn't beaten Boa Mogensen when they played them yesterday. Beat them for the first time. They came through in the 2nd round as well, the 3rd round, their 2nd match against Cho Gun-woo and Kwon Yi-gu. And they lost to them a couple of times this year as well. So
I think the Indonesian pair is a rising pair, a pair in form. I think every time we see them, they, I think, tend to be a little bit better. And also this tournament is showing the same.
Yeah, they're only 23 and 24 years of age.
I think they play well in Qingdao as well in the Sudirman Cup, even though I think they were split on occasions.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Bona Septano, Mohammad Ahsan, Indonesia.
Because of course not Marcus Kudo and Hendry didn't play in that either, did they?
No.
And on my left, Yeon Seong Yoo, Korea. Bona Septano to serve to Yeon Seong Yoo. Level, play.
This is one of those matches that could go one way or the other.
Service over.
Yeah.
One
And
low.
here we saw where the Korean pair is really strong. All the flat exchanges, watch out.
Service over. 1-all.
Pretty fiery start.
It's too loose, too high.
Service over. 2-1.
That is pressure. Playing really well, the Indonesian pair here.
And this is what they did yesterday against Boa Mogensen, didn't they? They were really electric in their play.
Yeah, and I think especially Septano, he was playing very well. Septano's serving now.
251 there from Mohammad Ahsan.
Service over. 3-2.
Oh, bit of a miss there by Cool.
3-4.
Not happy with that one. Almost hitting the carpet.
Service over. 5-3.
Okay, 263 there. He's coming along, isn't he, as a player. Fast
Yes.
gaining popularity home in Korea.
Oh. Well disguised by Ahsan. But unfortunately for the Indonesian pair, it's going in the net. But look at that. He's caught Koo on that one. I don't think he would have got to it.
Faultlet. Out. Service over.
We had a second chance.
6.
Yeah. First one was good, the second one not. It was called a let because Septano was not ready to receive.
The big speculation and the talk has been that Ko will
7-4.
team up with Lee Yong-dae after the Olympics of next year as a partnership.
Yeah,
So the
it's a fair chance for that.
two Korean pairs will be split.
And, you know, if you look at it from a coach point of view, I think they will possibly suit one another's style really well because Lee Yong-dae, he's very good, but he doesn't hit that hard. If he's got a partner like Koo that really hits well, they can be really strong.
As they showed at the US and Canadian Opens recently when they did team up together and won both events. Yours, mine.
Yes, exactly. Yours again.
Service over. 5-8. Seven, 8. Service over.
Korean perspective, Indonesia
9,
looking
7.
for their first world title in 4 years. Of course, they have one other big option here, which is, of course, in the mixed doubles, I should say. Tantowi and Liliana, who take on Hancock and Bank here later.
Service over. 8, 9.
Good serving. That's well played by the Indonesian, especially Septano, when he's actually in his defence playing a very constructive defence and changed the defensive situation around, and they managed to win it.
Yeah, that allowed Ahsan in for the winning shot.
Nice play of Cool.
It was out, or left.
I think the racket broke in contact with the floor, but well left by Cool.
Service over. 10, 9.
Standard practice with a change of racket for a little knock-up. Just long, so it's Ko and Yoo have the slight advantage here at the interval, but it's been a very even start, hasn't it, to this first men's double semi-final. Haven't really learned too much, have we, from that first spell in the match?
Now, as we predicted from the very beginning, it's a very tight match. It's as anticipated, and 11-10, you know, anything can happen. I just don't know. I just still feel I feel that the Korean pair is having a little bit of an upper hand, even though it's not really materializing in terms of the score. I think they have a slight upper hand. Indonesian pair is defending really well, but it's not attacking as much as I had hoped they could.
All they had yesterday, really.
Exactly.
11-10.
But all credit to the Korean pair.
Clever. Lovely winner from Ahsan.
11-all.
Lovely touch from the back of the court here from Mohammad Ahsan.
Yeah, very nice drop shot. Oh, bit of a miss.
Service over. 12-11.
Terrific flick serve, wasn't it?
Yes. It was well defended by the Indonesians, but eventually they lost it. That's well picked up.
13-11.
So that's what I mean. If the Indonesian pair get into more attacking positions and fight more for the initiative, as what they've done here since the break, I think they're standing a good chance. So it's 12-13. It can go either way. So yesterday, that's one of the weaknesses in Indonesian pair is Ahsan around that position. If you play the shot softly in around his body and head and all that, he tends to make mistakes, and that's what the Danes exploited yesterday. And we saw an example of that here right now.
Another mistake there as well from Ahsan.
Judgment. These mistakes then cost dearly.
Suddenly it's a 3-point advantage. Make that 4. There hasn't been anything to choose between them, has there?
No.
And suddenly it's quite a good lead.
But somehow the Korean pair is getting their points slightly easier than the Indonesian pair. And then they make a point like that, you know. The curse of the commentator, isn't that what you say?
Exactly.
13-16.
A shot from Ko, who actually won a bronze last year in Paris. That was in the mixed doubles, but
this is not so much the power, it's much more the angle. Look at that angle and the steepness of it. That is what did it.
Yeah, as you say, nearly 260, which is fast enough, but
yeah, but it's the angle. The angle was really, really good. See, that was the wrong player that tried to do it with Septano at the front. The Korean pair trying to play these soft shots in around the middle. But Septano is really good intercepting them, where Ahsan is having far more trouble. So they have to choose the moment right.
oh, Ko had come across. Gap was there. Ahsan said, OK, I'll have that.
Yeah. That was the chance.
15-17.
Good awareness, though.
Yes.
So that 4-point lead's been halved. It's long.
Service over. 18-16.
Yeah, just confirmation of what you were saying, really, wasn't it, at that point? Great point.
Well, that's what I mean when the Indonesians normally win their points. It's like this. They really have to fight hard to get them, where the Koreans are getting them slightly easier.
Service over. 17-18.
Well played. Good attack at the net.
Thank you.
He's bronze in the mixed doubles. Hyun won last year in Paris, did Yeon Seong Yoo.
Service over. 19-17.
Since the interval, they've always just been able to stay ahead. 2-point lead, 2 points from the opening game. 2 against 1 for the moment. Well, maybe not. Unbelievable. How about that from you? Take a bow.
On the floor, still able to play fantastic shots.
Milk it. Why not milk it? Game points.
20. Game point. 17.
They were
But
targeting
that is
it.
really tightly played.
Let's see if he can do it next time while drinking a cup of tea as well. Still 2 more game points here.
It was a chance to take by you.
Service over.
That one there.
18-20.
Not fast enough. And then it's intercepted.
Thank you.
뒤에 것도 봐, 뒤에. 같이 봐, 두 개야.
Play.
Nearly. More spectacular retrieving from Yeon Seong. Almost the spectacular.
This one here, this one is pretty close.
So 4 game points have become 1. Hence the worried looks there on the Korean coaches' faces. But 1 was all that was required in the end.
First game won by Yeon Seong
Well, it
Yoo.
became very entertaining, didn't it, towards the end of that
21-19.
first game?
Yeah, very good play from both sides.
Yep, a very enjoyable first set that went the way of the Koreans, partly thanks to some spectacular shots from Yeon Seong there. 21-19.
자세 딱 잡힌 거는 제가 쳐냈어요.
Somehow they've got to try and get attacking more, haven't they, Septano and Ahsan?
Yeah. But I think they're settling in well. I think they played a very good first set, and they could also be in a situation, if they can continue like this, they can tire out the Korean pair a little bit, take the top 10% off, and then if they can maintain their standard, they will win it. It's a very tight game, this.
It's good to see the way they're deep in conversation here.
20 seconds.
Yeon
20 seconds.
There's a bit of a darling as far as I think the girls are concerned back home. He and Lee fighting over for who's the most popular.
Second game. Love all. Play.
Second set picking up where the first left off, some fast and furious exchanges.
One low.
But again, as Morton was suggesting, the points just coming a little easier. They're not always having to win them as such, the Korean pair.
Service over. 1-all.
As well shouted. He was just about taking it. And then the shout from behind. Leave it, leave it. That's not unlucky.
Nice break for Ko.
3-1.
Well, the scoreline right now doesn't make too pleasant reading from an Indonesian perspective.
Service over. 2-3.
Impressive attacking game from the Koreans here. Two power smashes from behind and then this very steep interception. Good power, very good power from Ahsan.
Service over. 3-4.
Discussion over this point here.
Sorry. Service over, 5-3. Sorry guys, I was way out.
I think the Indonesians would like to have the umpire to say that it touched one of the Koreans on the way out. It's a massive difference between 4 and suddenly being 6-3 down.
At least the right decision was made.
Yeah, it was out, definitely.
High lift, wasn't it, from Septano?
But that one is good. The counter-attacking shot there, really good.
Service over.
Yeah, that's
7-4.
That's how I get that feeling of the fact that the Koreans are winning. The shots at the red is a little bit easier than the Indonesians are.
Yeah, and the Indonesian never been able to stamp their authority on the opening game, and the same here.
Yeah, it's like here, flick serve and then smash way out of court, 1 point. You hardly ever see the Koreans do that. They make you work for your points.
Septano wasn't ready, so
happened for the second time now.
Yeah, okay, we'll have to serve again.
And this time it was not too short. Good attack down the line there. Really hitting well along the line and not towards the center.
Service over. 9-5. Guys, call and serve. Call and serve.
You weren't sure which one of them was supposed to be serving, but
yeah, sometimes you can't remember, you just play.
Because Roches soon reminded them. So as long as they're on the front foot, they look a good pair, don't they?
Yes.
Service over. 6.
Good finish from the front of the court here. Very powerful by Septano.
It's a case of if you can do it, I can do it too. But unfortunately for Ko, he couldn't quite match his partner, Yoo.
But I'm telling you, that shot he's playing sitting is not bad. The cross-court shot he's playing, this one here is coming up here, is actually not bad.
And almost managed the splits at the same time as well.
Thank you.
And this is a taste of things to come as well, because the last match on the men's doubles, Kai and
tonight,
Fu, against
that's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, repeat of the 2009 final to come tonight in the semi-final in the men's doubles. But these 4 players are trying to Play for the right to get in the final, meet one of them.
It's so important that the court is not wet, because having water on this surface means it's so slippery, and obviously you don't want injuries. So
we've already seen an ankle injury today, haven't we?
Yeah.
Over. 10-7.
They got well out of that one, the Indonesians, but eventually.
But it's
11-7.
not been comprehensive, but it's looking good, isn't it, for the Koreans of Yoo and Co right now? Towards the halfway point of these semi-finals at these World Championships in London. Co and Yoo are creeping towards tomorrow's final.
Oke, Bon. Kadang-kadang sekali-sekali kalau mau berani main lu depan gini ngadu aja.
In some respect, Co and Yoo were probably been pleased to see Bona Mogensen knocked out by these two yesterday, seeing as they lost them in the quarterfinals of the World Championships last year. But they probably fancied themselves more against these two.
Yeah, I think...
you can disagree, go on, Morton. Because I think you were about to.
No, don't worry.
Come on.
11-7.
I would just like the Danish pair to win. It's so important for the Danish BA, and it's important for, you know, funding everything that we get the points we need. We needed 4 what they call championship points from this tournament, and you get 3 for a win, 2 for silver, and 1 for a bronze. And obviously having only Peter in the semi-final, we're most likely looking at maybe just 1 point, and we were hoping for 4.
But didn't Peter have to dig deep last night as well?
He had to dig very, very deep, and I was so impressed with his performance last night. I think though now that it might come to an end, because I think he will be suffering, and playing Lindan suffering is not fun.
No. How much height did he get on this to get to the point and then give himself the angle?
14-7.
He was on springs here, wasn't he?
Yes, that finish is really good. This one that's coming now, how he's coming into that. .266 the speed of that smash from Co. Misjudgment though by leaving things, but 14-8 now. It's commanding lead.
Yeah, not quite unassailable. Commanding's the perfect word.
It's an enormous lead. Yeah, it looks very promising for the Korean pair. Another easy one.
Service over. 15-8. Oh. Service over. 9-15.
This is the first time you see the Korean pair is giving 2 easy points away.
10-15.
Otherwise you have to take everything yourself. They don't give it away.
one through the legs from Ahsan there, but it was all to no avail.
He got very surprised by the angle.
10.
This one coming here.
Could hurt yourself doing that, couldn't you?
If you're unlucky, yes.
273 from you. Pretty quick one.
That's a nice shot. Fabulous. Very, very nice.
Service over. 11,
But it's interesting to see that the Korean pair is backing. In their defense, they're standing quite far back and obviously opens up for these kind of very good drop shots. And now the Koreans are going for power and angle at the same time. That's in. It's way in.
They're getting a little edgy, I think, as they get closer to getting to the final here. And they said at the start of the week that they wanted to reach the semi-finals of the World Championships for the first time. They've done that. Obviously the goal now is to reach the final and play for gold, and they're very close to doing that as well.
Service over. 17-12.
Ahsan very disappointed on his high serve. Oh, yeah. That is well done. That is a very well disguised shot.
18-12.
Going completely the wrong way, and look at the coaches, how happy they are. That was a good shot.
Service fault call. Service over. 13-18.
Long hoop calling the service fault there. So just something looked a little edgy. They've got enough of a cushion really that I think it really matters.
Close. This one is close. Look at that. Ooh, we're talking about 1 or 2 millimeters.
Service over. 19-14.
Consistently up there, isn't he, in 270 plus?
Service over. 15-19.
Was he just put off by the player running across him?
The coaches on the Korean
Service
bench
over.
was really
20.
holding their
Match
breath.
point, 15.
Well,
You
that
see they were very relieved getting that one.
a bonus point that brings up 5 match points.
That's a good angle.
Well, they saved a match point yesterday against Bowen Mogensen with Ahsan and Septano, but this is a completely different task.
16.
Yeah, they got to save 5. So the whole nation of Indonesia will be shouting "Satu lagi," which means one more.
20.
Well, actually, I don't know what's it for 3 more though.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Very good. I'm very impressed. Ko Sung-hyun and Yeon Seong have booked their place in the men's double final. And the prospect of an all-Korean final in this discipline at the World Championships this year is still a prospect. They've really entertained us, whether they're playing shots from on their backside or overhead smashes. They were very, very good.
Match won by
You enjoyed it. The coaches enjoyed it.
21-19, 21-17.
Into the final they go. Will it be Kyle Fu? Will it be their compatriots Jung and Lee? We'll find that out later on. Indonesia's hopes of a gold medal for the first time in 4 years now is down to the mixed doubles pair of Tantowi and Liliana, because Ko and Yoo have come through here against Ahsan and Septano. 21-19, 21-17. Well-deserved drink. They're buzzing after that. Championship final for the first time for them. The crowds make their way to the exits. Of course, we're now at the halfway stage of the semi-finals. 5 down, 5 to go. Crackers still to come. All straight sets wins for the 5 matches we've seen so far. So Ko and Yoo, they're there. They're in the final. Kai Fu, Jung Lee, that's later on. The last match on tonight, and that's going to be a thriller, the repeat of the 2009 final. So we'll find out then whether it will be an all-Korean affair in the men's double final at these Yonex BWF World Championships 2011. It's been some surprises in that half, of course, with Bo Mogensen exiting. So simple yesterday for Kai and Fu against Conrad and Rasmussen. Jung and Lee having to come through 26-24 in their victory over Hong and Shen, but they always knew, didn't they, Jung and Lee, that the big match was going to come against Kai and Fu. They met each other, oh, something like 14, 15 times, and honours are very even. Is that one too hard to call? Well, the other semi-final.
It is. My money is on the Chinese.
Well, they've won this title 3 times out of the last 4.
I think they've got a little bit extra. Again, we're talking about exactly the same situation as here. How easy are they going to win their points? And I think, you know, the Chinese can win their points a little bit easier than what the Koreans can.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. But for the time being, it's Ko and Yoo's time to celebrate their place in the final.